This video is not about motivation, it's about awareness.
Most people believe that their lives are shaped by big decisions, by dramatic moments, by things that happen suddenly and visibly. But most lives don't change that way. They change quietly, not through events, but through thoughts that repeat every day. Thoughts so familiar that they no longer feel like choices. They feel like facts. Most of the thoughts shaping your life today do not announce themselves. They don't argue. They don't demand attention. They simply return. The mind does not treat repeated thoughts as background noise. It treats them as instructions. Whatever you think about consistently begins to feel normal. And whatever feels normal begins to guide your behavior without asking for permission. This is not about positive thinking, and it is not about motivation. It is about conditioning. The mind adapts to what it rehearses daily, not to what you agree with logically, but to what you repeat emotionally. A thought repeated once is just a thought. A thought repeated daily becomes a pattern. A pattern repeated long enough becomes a direction. Most people never notice this process because it feels natural. And what feels natural is rarely questioned. Think about the phrases that appear automatically in your mind. I'm just not that kind of person. This is how life works. It's too late now. That's not realistic. These thoughts do not sound dramatic. They sound reasonable, mature, responsible. And that is why they are powerful. The most influential thoughts are not extreme. They are moderate. They sound like common sense. Over time, these thoughts begin to shape what you notice. They direct your attention. You start noticing evidence that supports what you already believe. Opportunities that don't fit your inner narrative remain invisible. This is how thinking shapes reality. Not by magic, but by selection. You don't see the world as it is. You see the world as your mind is trained to notice it. Attention leads to action. Action leads to habit. Habit leads to outcome. And by the time the outcome appears, the original thought is forgotten. People often say they don't know why their life looks the way it does. But when you trace the path back far enough, you usually don't find one big mistake. You find repetition, small thoughts, repeated quietly, unquestioned. Most people believe they are free because no one is controlling them, but control does not require force. Control requires familiarity. When a thought has been repeated long enough, it stops feeling imposed. It starts feeling like your own voice. This is why change feels uncomfortable. Not because it is wrong, but because it disrupts familiarity. The mind prefers the known, even when the known is limiting. This is also why insight alone rarely changes anything. Understanding an idea once does not undo years of repetition. Awareness is not a single moment. It is a practice. It begins when you notice a thought without immediately agreeing with it. When a familiar sentence appears in your mind, and instead of following it, you pause, not to fight it, not to replace it, just to notice it. This is a thought, not a fact, not a command. That small distance changes everything, because once a thought is seen clearly, it can no longer shape your life in silence. This is not about controlling every thought. That would be impossible. It is about recognizing which thoughts are shaping direction and which ones are simply passing through. Most of your future is not being built by what you want occasionally. It is being built by what you think about repeatedly. And the most important realization is this: you don't need new thoughts to change direction. You need awareness of the ones already running. Because the thoughts that quietly shape your life do not disappear when ignored. They disappear when seen.